I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but the beginning of Diamond Dynasty always feels a little bit overwhelming. So this video, I'm just going to let y'all know kind of the order that I'm doing things in, what I'm going to be doing first to make progress in Diamond Dynasty. I would love to see in the comment section what you're working towards first, what you're doing first here in MLB 24. Feel free to subscribe. We have daily uploads on the channel if y'all enjoy the videos. And for this video, I'm going to be going over the order that I'm going to be knocking things out here for MLB The Show 24, specifically Diamond Dynasty. Now, this might sound kind of crazy, but the first thing I'm doing is actually leaving Diamond Dynasty. The first thing that I'm going to try to get done is actually the storylines that they have available to start the year here for MLB 24. I'm not doing that in this video or anything like that, but we have the Negro Leagues Season 2. Right now, there are 4 chapters of this storyline that you can work towards. In a couple weeks, they're going to release 3 more, and then I think a couple weeks after that, they're going to release the final 3 for 10 total. But starting the year, there's only 4 of them, so I want to try to get caught up before they release the next 3, and then the 3 after that. I want to try to knock out the 4 that they have available right here, and then it's similar with Derek Jeter's storyline. You can only go through the first part of his career right now. In a few weeks, they're going to release the rest of it, same way they're doing the Negro League storylines. So I'm going to start with storylines because if you look at the screen right here, you're able to get a lot of cards already for Diamond Dynasty just through storylines. So I'm going to try to unlock all of these as fast as I can, and I'm going to try to get caught up on storylines before they release the next bit of content for both of these. Now, once I've knocked out all of the storylines content that's available, I'm not actually going back into Diamond Dynasty, but I just want to show you kind of what I'm working towards. So I'm going to be working towards, next up will be the programs. Specifically, we have the Team Affinity programs, Chapter 1 for that. Chapter 1, you start Season 1 with the 89 overall bosses. About 4 weeks from now, they're going to release Chapter 2, which will be the, I think, 93 or 94 bosses. And then about 4 weeks after that, 8 weeks into the season, we're going to have 99 overall bosses. So I want to try to get Chapter 1 out of the way as early as possible. Now, they did say that this year's Team Affinity is going to be the fastest, the easiest grind that we've ever had for Team Affinity. It's going to go faster than any of the other Team Affinities, is what they told us. And still in the programs, we have Team Affinity, but we also have these programs. The starter program with a couple diamonds available, as well as some packs, some XP, things like that. And we also have the spring breakout program with some more diamond players, some more XP, some stubs, and some packs. So what I'm doing next is trying to make progress in both of those programs. I want to knock out the offline stuff as soon as I can. So I'm actually going down when you're on the main menu to moments. This is where I always access my moments from. It's kind of in a nice spot. And once I finish storylines, I'm going to try to knock out all the moments that I have available. I'm going to try to do all the spring breakout moments. I'm going to try to do the 2 starter program moments that they have. And I'm going to try to knock out all the Team Affinity Chapter 1 moments that there are. You'll notice there's not as many moments for Team Affinity as in the past. And that's because there's only hitting moments. There's no pitching moments, at least for Season 1, Chapter 1 of Team Affinity. So there's a little bit less moments to start the year than in previous years of MLB The Show. So after storylines, I'm just going to try to knock out all of these moments as soon as I can. I like staying caught up on my moments when it comes to Diamond Dynasty. Now, once I've finished all those moments, I'm going back into Diamond Dynasty. And like I said, I am trying to make progress as fast as possible through these programs, get Chapter 1 of Team Affinity done, and get the other programs done. The starter program is probably what I'm going to try to knock out first. This should probably be the easiest of everything that we have left. And I'll probably end up doing the starter showdown. That's going to get you 10 points. Each moment is going to be 2. So you do the moments, you do the showdown, and you'll be at 14 points in this program, just 1 away from that diamond, that Rafael Palmeiro, as well as 2,500 XP. But that's probably where I'm stopping for focusing on the starter program, just because you'll notice there's multiplayer missions, hits, extra base hits, innings pitched, 1 strikeout in online play, any online mode, no specific players. So that should come naturally. Single player missions, play versus CPU, mini seasons, conquest, which I talk about in just a second. Those should get done naturally as well. Same with these parallel XP missions, just 500 in general and 150 with live series. So chances are, if you do the moments, you do the showdown. You probably don't even have to do the showdown, but I'm still going to do it anyways, just because I think you get some extra goodies, maybe a pack, some stubs, things like that in there. You should get the rest of the starter program done naturally just by playing online and offline modes. You should be getting the starter program done kind of on its own. Now, after I've done that showdown for the starter program, I'm probably going to move on to the showdown for the spring breakout program. That's going to get you 15 points. If you do the moments, there's 15, that's 18, 21, 24, and 27. There's also an optional extreme moment. I might give this a try, see if I can get it done. 3 extra base hits versus Paul Skeens with the spring breakout team, but that would be an extra 9 points. But you're either going to be at 27 or 36, depending on if you're able to do the optional moment. That's a pretty good start towards that 100 that you need. You'll notice there's general missions, 25 total bases with catchers, 10 extra base hits with first baseman, and these are in any modes. So if you wanted to load up your team with catchers or first baseman, second baseman for the hits, shortstops for the on base, nationals for the homers, you could always load up your team with these specific things and try to knock out these missions as fast as possible. As you start earning progress, as you do some moments, you do the showdown, you'll start unlocking spring breakout players. There's some extra available in the pack shop, but you don't need to buy those because you're unlocking spring breakout players right here. And you can use those for this repeatable parallel XP mission with spring breakout players. That's going to be in any mode, online or offline. There's also one-time missions, 150 parallel XP besides with the pitcher card. That's going to be 300. But there's parallel XP missions for each of the specific cards once you unlock them. So as I get these cards, I'm probably going to put them on my Diamond Dynasty team for conquest maps and then also the event that's going on. We'll talk about that in a second as well, but there's parallel XP mission specifically with the spring breakout series, and then there's also more spring breakout series missions, total bases, strikeouts, and homers in multiplayer modes with those spring breakout cards for some points in this program. So I've gotten the moments done, the showdown done. I probably have at least a few of these players. I should have at least 2 of them that I'll have put then on my Diamond Dynasty team. They'll be on my squad. I'll have at least a couple of those spring breakout players. And the next thing that I want to focus on will be Team Affinity. And specifically, I think I'm going to move towards conquest. But as you go through the Team Affinity programs, you can get some players, just live series cards, packs, things like that, and you get your first actual Team Affinity player at 60,000 points in the program. But if you look at the repeatable parallel XP mission, it's not necessarily with the cards. They do have a boss mission for those Team Affinity cards, repeatable, but they also have repeatable parallel XP with just players from really any team. All 30 teams, no matter what players you're using, as long as you haven't maxed out a division, you're going to be earning progress in these Team Affinity programs by getting these repeatable missions done. Playing any mode in the game, BR, events versus CPU, mini seasons, conquest. So you're going to just be making progress in Team Affinity as you play through those repeatable parallel XP missions. And it's similar to the multiplayer and the single player missions, right? We can see repeatable innings pitched online with AL East players. There's going to be missions for each division. There's also innings pitched in co-op. There's repeatable hits, homers, strikeouts. There's also single stat missions, RBIs, extra base hits, getting on base, and then repeatable total bases with the bosses. So there's multiplayer missions that are repeatable as well as one-time thing. And then there's also repeatable single player missions for each division if you're just using players. It's not necessarily the bosses. There is the total bases repeatable with the bosses for single player, but there's also these missions just for single player, some one-time ones, as well as the repeatable ones. So as you're playing any mode in Diamond Dynasty using cards from any team, as long as they're not free agents, you're going to be making progress through multiplayer and single player. Any way that you want to play, you're going to be making progress through these Team Affinity programs. If you want to, you can always exchange players. If you have some extras and you wanted to do that instead of sell the cards for some reason, you could always do March to October. But what I'm going to be focusing on next are the Conquest maps. And one Conquest map is going to get you 30,000 points for 2 divisions. So there is, we'll go to the Conquest maps and see exactly what I'm talking about, but there's 3 Conquest maps: East, Central, and West. The East will get you 30,000 Team Affinity points in the NL East and the AL East. The Central will do the same for the NL and the AL Central, and then the West will be the NL and the AL West. 30,000 points for each of those. So one map technically gets you 60,000 points. So I'm going to try to knock out these Conquest maps as early as possible. I'm also probably going to do the batter up Conquest maps. I like having things completed. I'm kind of a completionist when it comes to Diamond Dynasty, so I'll probably actually do the batter up maps first, just because they're pretty short and you can still earn some XP, some stubs, and you're still going to be earning progress through those missions that we saw in Team Affinity. And while I'm doing these Conquest maps, the batter up maps, as well as the Team Affinity maps, I'm going to be making sure on my squad I have those players that I unlocked for the spring breakout program. I'm going to be making sure I have these guys at the top of my lineup, so I'm hopefully getting these missions done as fast as I can. There's this repeatable parallel XP one, and then there's also the general missions. Those you're probably going to get done sort of naturally. You could even focus on these if you wanted to while doing the Conquest maps, but I'm definitely going to put these spring breakout cards at the top of my lineup, really focusing on especially that repeatable parallel XP mission up until I have the spring breakout program done. I don't know if it's a for sure thing, but I'm kind of guessing that by the time I finish the 3 batter up maps and the 3 Team Affinity maps, I'm assuming I'm probably going to be pretty close, if to not already done, with the spring breakout program. And at that point, I'm hoping I'm probably going to be done with the starter program as well, just through these single player missions, parallel XP missions, things like that. I'm hoping both of these programs will be done. If the spring breakout program's not done, I'll just keep those cards in my lineup, keep trying to get through these missions until I have the program done. But I think after those 6 Conquest maps, we should be pretty close. And after those 6 Conquest maps, we should have a good chunk of each Team Affinity division done. Again, just from the Conquest map, that's going to be 30,000 points alone, and you're going to be getting those repeatable parallel XP missions. You'll have progress made in those. You'll have progress made in the single player missions, and you'll hopefully have unlocked at least 1 or 2 bosses, if not even more, to be earning the parallel XP missions for those cards as well. Putting those in your lineup, getting those repeatable missions done. And you could also be making progress for the single player stat missions as well for each division with those bosses. Now, like I said, I'm kind of a completionist when it comes to Diamond Dynasty. There is one other Conquest map, so I'm going to try to knock out as quick as I can the USA Conquest map, the Nation of Baseball Conquest map that we see right here. And one of the big reasons that I want to knock this out is because there's 30 Conquest games to be played. That's if you're not stealing any fans. If you're only doing the strongholds, there's 30 games to be played. That's a lot of those single player missions done. That's a lot of that repeatable parallel XP. If you didn't finish the spring breakout program from those other 6 Conquest maps, I'm definitely thinking I'll get it done here. And there's goals from the USA Conquest map. We can see some extra packs, extra stubs, extra XP, and there's also 9 diamond players that you can earn. There's AJ Pollock, Mark Melancon, Orlando Cepeda, Troy Percival, Carlos Rodon, David Ortiz, 10 Showpacks, Bill Mazeroski, Jim Rice, Stan Musial, and then for beating the map, conquering all territories, you get a 20 bundle. So there's a lot of stubs, a lot of XP, a lot of diamonds, a lot of cards. There's just a lot of progress to be earned, a lot of rewards to be earned by doing this Conquest map. And you get all these rewards, those stubs, those XP, those cards, in addition to also making progress by getting those missions done for Team Affinity. And like we said, if you hadn't finished the spring breakout program, I gotta think it's gonna be done when you're doing that USA Conquest map. Now, I'm guessing by the time I finished all of those Conquest maps, I'm probably not gonna have any division done. In the past, I've liked knocking out Team Affinity as soon as I can. If I wanted to do Team Affinity fast, I would probably be doing the Team Affinity Showdown and exchanging the vouchers that I get from Showdown and just trying to knock out each division as early as possible. But for me, once I finish the Conquest maps, that's probably when I'm going to start playing some online games. Specifically, I'm probably going to start with the events. Free entries, it doesn't really matter if you lose any games, you don't lose anything, but if you win, you can earn progress. And my goal is going to be to get to 20 wins in this event. I might try to get to 35, but that kind of seems like a lot. 25 would be nice for the extra 2,000 XP right there, but I want to get to at least 20 wins and hopefully get the Grayson Rodriguez and the Anthony Rendon. So my next step, once I finish the Conquest maps, I'm probably going to move on to the event, try to knock out the 20 wins as fast as I can. This current event ends on March 29th. And once I've done the events, I'm going to keep playing online. But keep in mind, while you're doing the event, while you're doing these online games, you're going to be earning progress in each of the divisions. You're going to be getting those repeatable missions done. You're going to be getting those multiplayer missions done, those innings pitched missions done while you're doing events, and then also while you're doing BR, which is going to be what I do after the events. I'm going to play some Battle Royale, and it's going to be similar to the event. I'm just going to try to get to the end of the program, at least the main reward, as early as I can. Now, taking a look at this, I think I might want to get to 110 just for that 5,000 XP. If I can, I would love to be able to max out the program, get the extra packs and the extra stubs, but I definitely want to try to get the non-sellable flawless reward. That's just going to be one less card that I have to buy, because again, I'm a completionist. I like to try to collect everything. So my next step, once I finish the event, is going to be making my way through the BR program. And once I've finished the BR program, I'm really interested to see. I have no idea, but I'm pretty sure I should be really close to getting at least some of these divisions done. I'm hopefully going to have at least one or two of the divisions done after I finish all of these steps so far. Now, I would love to just make sure I have all of the Team Affinity Chapter 1s done. I'm guessing I probably won't have them done even by the time I finish the BR program. So it's always an option for me to go into Showdown and just do the Team Affinity Showdown and try to get through this as fast as I can. We can see a voucher for beating the boss. We see a second voucher here. We see a third voucher here, a fourth one there. And it looks like you're going to be getting 4 vouchers. Yeah, and it even says in the bottom left, 4 vouchers every showdown that you're completing. So it might be a good idea if I wanted to just go through the showdowns and earn my vouchers that way. Every voucher is going to get you 2,800 points, 3 of them 8,400, and just stack those up and try to knock out the divisions, the ones that I have remaining if I already had finished some. But also, if I didn't want to do Showdown, if I wanted to keep playing online, there's always ranked seasons and the ranked program. I do want to get through this ranked program. There's a lot of packs, a lot of stubs, a lot of XP in here. Andrew McCutcheon, one of my favorite swings the last few years. I really want to try to get this card for my team. So I would love to make progress in the ranked program, eventually getting to at least the 100 points. It could be nice to keep going past that, get some extra stubs and some extra packs, but I want to at least get one of these World Series rewards. That's one less that I'm going to have to buy. I also would love to just try to push through the actual ranked season and make my way to World Series, get one of these cards as well. Hopefully just by making World Series and getting the program done, get both of those cards. And if I decided to do ranked seasons instead of doing showdowns for Team Affinity, I gotta think at that point, I'm getting pretty close to getting all the divisions done, because you're getting the repeatable parallel XP missions done. I'll probably be using at least some of the bosses, maybe even focusing on, say, hey, I got the AL East done, then I would only be using bosses or cards from the other divisions. I would try to make it so I'm not using cards for divisions that I already have done, so I'm earning as much progress as possible. And while I'm playing online and the events in BR, if I'm doing ranked seasons, I'm still getting those repeatable innings pitched missions done as well. 8,400 points every 8 innings pitched in online modes, as well as online co-op, and there's also these repeatable stat missions, and then again the one-time ones. So I should be making a lot of progress just by playing the game, and I think that's part of why they said this is going to be the easiest, the fastest that Team Affinity's ever been. We can see as soon as the 19th, there's a Soul Series free pack. I'm not sure if there's going to be a Soul Series program. It looks like the next program, at least that we know of, is the Egg Hunt program on the 29th. That's also when they add the next missions, so you can actually get to 100 in the ranked program. But I'm kind of hoping to have everything up until ranked seasons. I'm hoping to have storylines, both of these starter programs done, the event done, and the BR program. That's kind of where I'm hoping to be by March 29th. I guess we'll have to just wait and see how long it takes, but that is how I'm going to be starting my journey in Diamond Dynasty for MLB The Show 24. I'm curious to see in the comments maybe how you're starting your journey, what you're working towards first, what you're going after first, and see maybe how it's different or how it's the same to mine. And hopefully this video helped out at least 1 or 2 people out there to get a start on what they want to do for Diamond Dynasty. Thank you as always for watching.